So just taking a quick look at Pepe then on our daily time frame here for another daily update on the channel. Had a few requests for this one, so I thought I would absolutely reward the community for all their hard work in watching my videos. Sometimes it can be a bit of a slog when things don't change much, but I appreciate you all being here, and I'm glad that you've got some requests for me. So as we can see then, Pepe here obviously suffering just like the rest of the market with that huge liquidation cascade that we saw last week. 70% wick on this one. That is a big boy. Very, very, very big correction to the downside there, sweeping out basically, I would say, everyone that was in a leverage long position pretty much from the past year, maybe the past 2 years here, has been liquidated out of their long positions. As you can see, Pepe has actually performed really well. Obviously, when did it launch? I think Pepe launching back here, was it 2023? It's had a really, really good life cycle so far, obviously launching during the bear market, having a bit of a sideways consolidation, big move to the upside here, and slowly grinding up. Looking really strong here, and still looking pretty strong if I had to be honest. Potentially forming a bit of a trend line here, which might be something that might go and get swept if we continue bearish for Bitcoin. But overall, I would say Pepe here has been pretty strong during and consistent, as you can see. During these periods where Bitcoin's been kind of chopping sideways, you can see, came up, made a new all-time high, and we've been kind of, you would say arguably, just chopping around really, waiting for a bull market for altcoins. Looking pretty strong here, not showing many signs of wanting to drop to the downside in any big way, apart from this huge liquidation cascade we've seen here. Obviously, we've got all of our Fibonacci levels. In terms of extensions, obviously I've got my Fibonacci pulled from this previous all-time high down to the low, going into this bull market period for Pepe. You can see pretty much all of these Fibonacci levels, interestingly, being respected quite well. You can see we've got this nice impulse up into the 141 Fibonacci extension here. We came back down, back tested our all-time high, pumped up again to our next Fibonacci level pretty much at the 161 Fibonacci extension there. As you can see, I can't really tell you what these denominations of Pepe are because they're so small, so I'm just going to refer to these levels as the Fibonacci levels. As you can see, this is a really small denomination, but overall here you can see we basically just came back down. We're kind of just riding through our Fibonacci levels here. You can see we got up to a new all-time high. The last Fibonacci extension is really far here. This is still around a 2 or a 3x from the all-time high. From this price though, around a 10x could be a potential target from the current price if you're bullish on Pepe for the long term. I think this is probably going to continue up once we start to get an actual altcoin season, which I think is still coming in my estimation. But right now, as we can see, Pepe in a bit of a weird spot. We have been, after hitting that new all-time high, Bitcoin dumping obviously the rest of the market as well. The tariff dump we saw at the start of the year because Trump announcing all those tariffs, dumping Bitcoin down, and then in turn dumping altcoins down. We came down here, as you can see, coming through some of our Fibonacci levels. Resistance, come down. We've got support, resistance, come down again. We're kind of chopping around here at this support area, thinking we're probably not going to sweep out much more liquidity. We did come down and take some levels of liquidity here, as you can see. Bounced out of this level again. As you can see, we came up, came down, retested this 127 as support. Ripped up, perfect retest of this 161 Fibonacci extension here. And you can see, since then, we've kind of just been grinding to the downside and going sideways. As Bitcoin and basically altcoins in general over the summer have just been going sideways for the most part. Very few altcoins actually moving up, really. We've had a lot of sideways chop this year for altcoins as they're trying to figure out what's happening with the tariff situation coming in at the start of the year. Since the start of the year, really, most of our altcoins have just been chopping sideways. Loads and loads of altcoins across the market have been doing this. You can see I've highlighted a few of the ranges that altcoins have been in recently since the start of the year, and Pepe here not really any exception, probably outperforming a little bit, but as you can see now, we've formed a nice little trend line of liquidity above that we could come and target as well. But basically just correlated to Bitcoin right now. Huge dump to the downside, massive liquidation event. We've bounced back up here, currently rejecting our 127 Fibonacci extension, and pretty much just looking like we're going to be following whatever Bitcoin does going into next week. Bitcoin looking like right now it's between two fair value gaps, these daily fair value gaps, this one here and here. Currently bouncing very, very strongly actually out of this lower fair value gap here, which was previously unaddressed or unbalanced. So we could see Bitcoin bouncing from here after also taking out 3 major swing lows worth of liquidity as well. We could see ourselves bouncing back up through this area like this. But right now it's really all dependent on what Bitcoin does for the rest of the market. Pepe here, waiting and seeing what's going to happen next. As always, guys, thanks a lot for watching. Please do like and subscribe. Leave a comment down below. Let me know your thoughts. Check back every day for daily updates and do get some free money in the description below. Cheers.